Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on Sunqua Peak, where I'll be going over the bosses and my overall impressions. First and foremost, thank you so much to ArenaNet for giving partners early access. Couldn't do without ya. Wink wink. And additionally, thank you to Regar, AKCSL, and GW2 for coming along with me during the early access and helping me clear this. I'll have any of their information down below. So let's get started. Well, you come into Sunqua Peak and you are first encountered with the stag character, which was shown in the trailer. You get some backstory off of that, but you quickly move on to do some platforming, kill some things, and you start jumping. Pretty easy. Your first boss is this wind spirit. They each have their own distinct names: Fury, Sorrow, I forgot what this one's called, but the wind sprite creature. The bosses before the final boss are not super difficult. They are there to teach you the mechanics and get you ready for the big end fight. Basically what this one does is throw out some lightning orbs every once in a while, daze ya, and will start going into phases where he will, or they will, start creating a whirlwind and call down some lightning strikes. You can basically walk out of the lightning strikes on the lower tier. I'm not sure how they manage on higher tiers of fractals, but you can walk out, you collect some orbs, and you start jumping to disrupt the clouds. Keep that mechanic in mind, as it will come back in the later fight. Then you'll phase. He'll go over to a corner of the map where he'll start spraying out a cone. This is a bit more directional to maybe get a better time at hitting melee and ranged characters, as the attacks are coming from one direction and do not necessarily come in a circle where they would have if he was still in the center of the battlefield. You go through this jumping mechanic again, and then you just kind of kill him. You phase him, he goes to another side of the map, and you start wailing on him. After this sprite is dead, he walks to the center and kind of transforms into an updraft type thing. And then well, it's interesting because I was gunning for updrafts to be a part of this fractal, and the mastery isn't. It's kind of just implemented as a baseline mechanic. You don't necessarily need gliding. And then you get popped over to this river thing where you fight some sprites and you have to cross a river. Key point, you can't fall off. You can't fall off of the river, as I just did there. It's a very subtle animation, but there will be rushing water, which has a much more intense animation, and then there will be the lulls where you can finally cross. In addition to fighting the sprites and getting past the water, you have to go and collect these lost sprite spirits, which are just baby skimmers. They're so cute! But then you collect them, and then you go into this second encounter. Hello, motorcycle. You want to calm down there? Thank you very much. I have a video to do. But then you go into this boulder thing, and I was really expecting something more intriguing here, but at least on the lower and mid-range fractals, it's pretty much just this. You just fight the boulder, and there are some water explosions around the area. In all honesty, it's very easy and not a boss encounter. It's more of just an event. You kill it, and then he transforms into like a water spout updraft thing. And then you move on, and now we're going to be talking about some of the fire elements to this fight. So we went over the wind, water, and now fire. Here we fight some fire adds. Be sure to note that they do explode, so don't stand in the middle of them. And then after you're fighting the adds, you go into the Fury, the fire kitty, as I like to call it, the fire cat. The way this boss works is I'm pretty sure that they jump to the furthest target. They do apply fury to themselves, and the attacks will apply burning and bleeding every once in a while. In addition to that, there will be a phase mechanic around 75% where the fury will call down these volcanic fiery rocks, and it will create a shockwave. Jump over the shockwave, and then after they come down, you have to quickly hide behind the boulders to save yourself from the blast. Once that's happened, the break bar will become available throughout the fight. Break the break bar to stun them and of course do some more damage. You'll continue this until I think about 25% or so, and you'll get the volcanic mechanic once again. That is such a fun word combination, volcanic mechanic. But instead of the meteorites being stagnant, they will actually follow two players. So you want to kind of run across from each other and do the rinse and repeat and then kill them. Sadly, you can fall off the sides and kill yourself. Just as I did. So be careful. And then you get some lore stuff. They say nya, and then you die.
Stand one. Yet her pain overpowers her still.
Stand one? Okay, who or what is this thing? And wait, her pain?
Have you read this?
Yeah.
Must request that.
Oh no, I didn't. After that little story instance, be sure to check out the surrounding area and come back to it once you fight the final boss. You will finally get to the final boss where you have to fight and defeat the sorrowful spellcaster. This incorporates all of the mechanics that you fought in the early boss fights, the wind spirit, the water spirits to a point, and the fire, of course. She has quite a few cone attacks. She moves around quite a bit. And this is a very telegraph-heavy fight. She will occasionally go into a break bar phase, where if you break her, she will be stunned where you can get some more damage. First, she'll start in the air phase, where you have to go collect these orbs again, and complete the jumping mechanic into the clouds to disrupt the flow of magic, or whatever. During this phase, you cannot attack her. She does have this tornado around her to protect her. Overall, this fight incorporates all three mechanics very well, and I had a blast. It is very chaotic, and this was only the lower 25 level fractal. I cannot imagine what it's like when you reach tier 4 and then challenge mode. I have not completed challenge mode. I've not even touched it, so I'm not too sure. After you fight her, she will get to a health threshold and then transform from her air magic to fire magic. Here you'll have to do these meteorite mechanics once again. Be sure to be careful about everything. This time they will cycle into 4 meteorites instead of just 2. And then afterwards they will simultaneously launch 4 additional ones, and it seems like the worst thing to do is kind of stand in the middle, because if you don't jump correctly, you're going to get hit with 4 waves, and not only will you take damage from the waves, but you will also be applied with burning. It was so weird. One of the rocks just crumbled immediately, and then you get downed by the big blast shockwave, and yeah. So now she's fully in her fire element. Be careful, because her fireballs will apply burning. So Condi Clear might be useful, and especially some vigor with the dodging. Next, she goes into her water phase. There are these sprite mechanics that pop up, and I and my fellow friends, fellow fractal adventurers, could not figure this mechanic out for the life of us. I think they kind of just popped up and then tethered to people, and then we weren't really sure if we needed to go in between and allow the ray to hit her, or what was really going on. So this wasn't super clarified. This didn't pop up in the water phase, and yeah, it was a bit weird. But then you have to fight her. There are some water tornadoes that are reminiscent of the Largos fight in the raid. And there will be a phase where she goes into a water vortex, so just be careful. All in all, this phase is more ranged oriented, and the final phase. So range her down, stick with teammates, revive, and you'll manage to win. Overall, I really enjoyed this fractal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, flicked it, comment below your thoughts on the fractal, subscribe for more content. All my links are down below if you want to help support me, and also don't forget to check out my friends who have their links down below if they've submitted them. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, where I might talk about the lore of the fractal. Catch you guys later. Bye, everyone.